Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily Weekend right here on ChannelOne TV. Myself, Jude Duncan, and Enosafo. Just gone by the What's Happening segment where we get to tell you all of what's happening in town so you can make an informed decision on how you intend to spend your weekend. But for now, we'll shift focus to a very important conversation, a very exciting conversation, I must say, with our guest in studio, Patrick Biwong, who is an interdisciplinary artist and also very passionate about education in the sense of, issues around art and how it inspires people. Patrick, I hope I got the pronunciation of your name correctly.
You did.
You're welcome to Breakfast Daily Weekend.
Thank you.
Amazing. I was just looking up your profile and some stuff you've done on social, your social profile as well, and it's quite interesting. Maybe for the uninitiated and people who don't appreciate art in a way you do, just give us a brief overview of, who you are, right, and what you do.
All right. So I am an artist and an educator, and I would say my practice spans from the studio to the classroom. And I've been very interested in the environment, family, and stories. So as an artist, I look at how I could use discarded materials to create a conversation. And then from there, it also informs me to further expand on my art practice. So that is how I kind of play with my creativity.
What kind of materials do you use in your art?
So I've been working with discarded fabric and plastics, newspaper. Currently, the body of work that I've been producing spans around these found materials. Yes.
Were you always interested in art growing up?
Oh, yes. As a little child, my mom was into tie and dye, and so I would like to play with colors and then give her a color combination, and then she uses that to create her pieces. So I think my parents really saw that potential in me. And so I was blessed as growing up in my family for my parents to support me and say, look, do visual art. Even though in secondary school I was admitted to do science, my parents went to change and said they think I would do well in visual art. And initially I kind of hesitated because all my friends were doing science. I felt kind of being alone coming from the school I graduated from. And so I struggled a little. But luckily I met two good art teachers who gave me the opportunity to explore. And in the process, along the journey, I've met interesting people who have kind of kept me on that path. So that's how my story begins.
Interesting. Wow. Beyond your work in the space, I also want you to talk to us about the educator part of you, right? So you don't only do it, but you teach people.
Yes.
Which groups of people do you teach, and what do you teach them?
All right, so I work in a school teaching the Cambridge curriculum, art and design, and currently I'm working with the IB program, teaching them visual arts. So, and I work within this age group from 10 to 16.
Interesting. There's a lot of wrongfully held public perception around arts, right? And it also stems from maybe you could say ignorance, and also people who just don't know, right? So I just want you to talk to us about the misconceptions and even sometimes the stereotypes associated with persons who do art. So, for example, it was your calling. So you went to school, you did visual arts, and it's become a career path for you. But for some people, it's almost seen as if you don't get into your preferred sciences or humanities, then you could consider it an option. Maybe talk to us about the stereotypes and why that kind of thinking is not proper, right?
Well, I struggled to go into that conversation because it might be a bit political, but I mean, we as human beings, right, we can't live without art. Everything around us is art, right? If you have that understanding that everything around you is art, then we won't have this challenge. And also, so because of that, because we probably growing up, you not be consciously made aware that everything that you do is art. People see that art is isolated from all other things, right? So for me as a teacher, I always tell my student that I'm teaching you art not because I want you to become an artist, but I just want you to develop that creative faculty that everybody has. Yeah. Once you're able to develop that, you'll be able to apply that in whatever field you find yourself. So that's always been my basic philosophy and how I engage and how I make people conscious of the everyday and how you can creatively look at things, question things, find ways. And I think you have a better experience in life when you look at it that way.
Talk to us about revolutions round about the sun and round around the sun.
All right, so yes, it's a mouthful. This is a solo exhibition, and since 2015, I had my solo exhibition at the Nubuke Foundation. I have been exhibiting in groups elsewhere, not in Ghana.
Caught in the web.
And so I haven't worked since 2015.
You took a break?
I didn't take a break. I was developing my concept. I was engaging in group exhibitions. I was questioning my practice, right? So it was just, or this is just the right time for me to say, okay, I've arrived and I'm happy with what I've been working on, ready to share with the public. So I've been working with 3 amazing curators, Ajua, Atso, and Bernard, who have been putting this together. So it is a whole body of work. That is why it's so much, that's why we were using 3 venues, because we needed that number of spaces to be able to accommodate all the work.
Oh, wow. So the 3 venues will have completely different
things.
Yes,
right, but they're all kind of related in a way. And for 1 month, it's going to run for 1 month. And then within the 1 month, we have programs that will run through the spaces that will get us to move within these spaces. So artist conversation will happen, workshop will take place.
Oh.
And yes.
9th May 2025 to 8th June.
Yes, so 9th May will be at the Foundation for Contemporary Art Cantonment. That's where you come to see me, and you also experience another aspect of me, which is not visual but a performance.
Oh.
All right, so that will be an entry into the space. And
Wow.
then we'll take it from there. So then in the art, I'm just not, that's why I don't call myself just a visual artist, because I borrow from the different arts disciplinary. So performance, installation, collage work, painting. I mean, I started with painting when I was doing my undergrad. I started with painting at KNUST. And then in my master's, I delved deeper into using other mediums in communicating the ideas that I have. Because for me as an artist, I think I want to engage enough audience because we understand this, or we're interested in things differently. So how do I borrow these mediums or form of expressions to engage in the conversation, especially to do with environment?
You sound very passionate about this, right? But I can understand, because you don't only do it, but you teach it, right?
Right, yes.
And your whole career is built around it. Just because I'm curious, right? Where's your inspiration coming from? Like, who inspires all of these things that you do?
A lot of people. Again, I will struggle to mention, pinpoint on one person or 2 people. A lot of people, I think, one, I'll say family, based on my father is a very open-minded person, so growing up really exposed us to a lot of things. Met individual people, probably they were not even aware, but just by speaking to them. Growing up, I also spent a lot of time engaging with the elderly. So for me, that in a way has been inspiring me. And my mom, amazing woman, I think I get my strength from her. And my kids now, and I look at the world through their eyes. How is the world going to be for them through their eyes? And so all these people around me is what keeps me going.
Wow.
That's nice. So, talking about this exhibition in 3 different places, is there a way that we're supposed to see it, or can you start from any of the 3 venues and
Yes, you
end
can
up at one?
start from any of the 3 venues because it speaks to each other.
Okay.
So, and also there is a curatorial text that will also give you a fair idea. And of course, the artist is always available, so you can always. And I love the stories. I love the conversation. I always like to see what my art triggers in people, and what I receive also informs what I create.
Yeah.
And so yes, it's kind of, it doesn't have any specific direction. Yes.
I mean, see, Patrick, this is amazing. I like that you're doing this. I recall here at City, we have what we call the Heritage Month, where we seek to also portray the country. And as part of it, there's the Heritage Caravan, where we travel all across the country. And I was on the caravan, I wasn't. But I was just stopped at the Red Clay Studio in Tamale, where Ibrahim Muhammad, that's his name, right?
Yes.
The artist is doing amazing, fantastic stuff. I'm sure you've seen it for yourself.
Of course,
Right,
Ibrahim is amazing.
Yeah, we'll be here to support because we feel like there's enormous potential, right? On this show, I've had cause to say that if you look at the orange economy, as we would call it, right, or the creative economy, there's so much potential. Elsewhere, it's raking in millions, right? Taking people out of poverty, giving jobs to people. So support. But just before you go, any final words, anything you want to say that you've not been able to touch on, and where can we, beyond the art exhibition, find you to support the work if people are interested in it?
All right, so as so many shoulders that I stand on, I can't mention all names, but the names that immediately comes to mind as the 3 curators, Bernard, Ato, and Ajua, my family, my husband, my 2 kids, who are I always say my young collaborators, because they're constantly supporting me in ways that it's amazing to be a mother, to have kids who will give you your space. So it's mommy's time. And I really appreciate that. My parents, who
is that one of your children?
Yeah, he's always yes. My parents, my mom, my dad is currently not feeling well, but he is always very positive in what I do. My mom, my siblings. For now, those are the people I can mention to kind of show my appreciation. Yes, so Instagram, you can find me on Instagram, Biwang Patrick. You can follow me there, and then when you come to the exhibition spaces, you also find me there.
I want to find out, how do you think we can develop arts in Ghana? I feel like it's still an untapped space here in Ghana.
Right, it starts by really spending time going to these spaces, meeting the artists, getting into their world, going to their studio spaces. It starts with those conversations, because when you know what is happening, what somebody's doing, then you can better talk about it. So I think that instead of probably going to the pub, they say, oh, today I'm going to see an artist. I'm going to talk about an artist. And as we begin to, especially using your platforms, the more we engage with the artist and the more we make it available to the audience, they get to know what is happening. And then from there, we can build from there.
And support the bite.
Yeah, invest in. There are so many ways you can invest in. Not necessarily buying it, but I mean, for instance, if an artist is having a show, could you take part of the cost? Could you do something, you know? Can we find a way of saving our work in our country?
I feel you.
And instead of letting it all go out, that we have to travel outside to spend so much money to see something that was created by our own. That's one thing I love about Ibrahim, that single-handedly thinking in that capacity. So for instance, my work, I don't let all go, right? Instead of the money is there, but I choose to save some for prosperity. So yes, we need everybody on board to help with this.
Amazing.
Thank you.
We'll be there to support. I've been inspired by this mini lecture on the need to support and help grow it together, because I believe strongly that there's so much potential right? And if we all come together, you know, there's so much we can do in terms of growing it, bringing people in, you know, making it bigger, and all of that. So thank you so much for your time, Patrick Biwong. It's a pleasure having you today. You've changed my perspectives a little, right?
Thank you.
So I hope you've done the same for all the viewers out there. We'll take a quick break. When we are back, the sports don't go away.